Did you know that over 80% of our vast ocean remains unmapped, unobserved, and unexplored? It's a dark world full of mysteries, but occasionally we catch a glimpse of what lurks in these uncharted waters. In this video, we see a group of people chatting on a boat when suddenly something colossal emerges from the water's surface behind them. According to the person who filmed the video, this was the Loch Ness Monster. The Loch Ness Monster, better known as Nessie, is a legendary sea creature said to inhabit Loch Ness in the Scottish Highlands. Descriptions of Nessie vary, but most agree that it's a large serpent-like creature with a hump protruding from the water. Some scientists suggest that it could be a surviving plesiosaur from the dinosaur era. Nessie's length is estimated to be between 33 and 43 feet, or 10 and 13 meters, and its weight is estimated to be around 5,070 pounds, or 2,300 kilograms. People in the comments believe that this footage is one of the most credible sightings of Nessie. Do you believe that the sea monster still exists? Let me know in the comments. A recent sighting of a mysterious sea creature was captured on camera in January 2023 by Captain Daniel Griffey. He was sailing off the coast of southeast North Carolina when he couldn't believe his eyes. Daniel grabbed his camera and filmed the moment when the sea creature surfaced to take a breath. Most people in the comments agree that it could be an alligator, a whale, or the Loch Ness Monster. But others are not convinced and suggest it might be an unidentified sea creature. An alligator is not native to the waters of North Carolina, and it's highly unlikely for one to be swimming in the ocean off the coast. Secondly, it's more plausible that it's a whale. The coastal waters of North Carolina are home to a variety of whale species, including humpbacks, fin whales, and minke whales. Finally, there have been no reported sightings of the Loch Ness Monster in North Carolina. Take another look at the sea creature surfacing and tell me what you think. Ogopogo is a legendary sea creature said to inhabit Okanagan Lake in the British Columbia, Canada. The folklore surrounding the sea creature dates back to the 19th century. Similar sightings have also been reported in Lake Champlain, located between New York and the province of Quebec in Canada. A woman named Cindy claims to have captured the sea creature with her GoPro along the shores of Lake Champlain while she was snorkeling. In the video, we see the terrifying sea creature swimming towards her, causing the woman panic. The length of Ogopogo is estimated to be between 40 and 50 feet, or 12 and 15 meters. Many people say it's just a myth, but the footage from Cindy's GoPro looks quite realistic. Given that we have only experienced such a small percentage of the ocean, it's entirely possible that unidentified sea creatures are still swimming around. Another interesting fact is that an annual Ogopogo festival is held in British Columbia to celebrate the legend. During a helicopter flight along the Chesapeake Bay, a gigantic snake was captured on camera. The Chesapeake Bay is a large estuary on the Atlantic Ocean in the eastern United States. The giant snake that was spotted is known as Chessie and is estimated to be between 50 and 100 feet, or 15 to 30 meters long. People in the comments suggested that it might even be larger. It's described as a serpent-like creature with a long neck and humps, often compared to Nessie. Multiple people have reported seeing the snake in the waters of the Chesapeake Bay. However, the origin of the Chessie legend can be traced back to Native American folklore, where stories of water spirits and snakes were woven into their culture. Over time, these stories merged with the experiences and encounters of sailors, fishermen, and residents of the Chesapeake Bay area. So perhaps the helicopter footage is evidence that this giant snake truly exists. Manipogo is a legendary sea creature said to inhabit Lake Manitoba in Canada. This terrifying sea creature is described as serpentine, with a long neck and a head resembling that of a horse. With many skeptics ridiculing the idea of the creature's existence, there have been numerous unexplained sightings. Multiple reports of Manipogo have emerged over the years, with the earliest dating back to the early 20th century. The sea creature has become a significant part of the region's folklore. One of the most credible pieces of evidence for the creature is a photograph taken by Richard Vincent. In the photo, we see a gigantic serpent-like creature swimming in the lake, but it gets even more intriguing. Some reports suggest that Manipogo can leave the water and move on land. Richard's photo only adds to the mystery of Manipogo. However, the quality of the image isn't clear enough to definitely identify the sea creature. The Zuiomaru carcass is a mysterious phenomenon that has puzzled scientists, fishermen, and cryptozoologists for decades. In 1977, a Japanese fishing boat named Zuiomaru retrieved a massive carcass from the depths of the sea. The creature was over 33 feet, or 10 meters long, and weighed almost 4,000 pounds, or 1,800 kilograms. Additionally, it had a dark, scaly skin and a large gaping mouth filled with sharp teeth. While some believed the carcass to be that of a sea monster, others thought it belonged to a giant shark. The giant shark is a massive shark species that can reach similar lengths, and also has a gaping mouth with a tough, leathery skin. However, the giant shark is not a reptile, so the theory that the Zeomaru carcass was a giant shark doesn't explain its scaly appearance. The discovery of this creature led to a wide range of theories. Some believed it was evidence of a prehistoric sea monster that had somehow survived into modern times. Others thought it could be an entirely new species, possibly a giant sea turtle or even a previously unnoticed plesiosaurus. Examinations of the carcass itself only deepened the mystery. Analysis by marine biologists revealed that the creature's skin lacked collagen, which is typically present in living organisms. The Seneca Lake monster is a legendary creature said to inhabit Seneca Lake, one of the Finger Lakes in upstate New York. For years, the local population and visitors to the area have been talking about this sea creature. This eerie photo shows a gigantic sea creature in the water with 3 or 4 humps and a visible tail. It's said that this could be the legendary creature, and there were reliable people on board the ship who claimed to have seen the sea monster. However, this was not the only time the sea monster was captured on camera. An anonymous individual in Geneva, New York kept an eye on the sea creature for several months and managed to film the event. One of the most interesting facts about the Seneca Lake monster is that it's been observed by people from different walks of life, including experienced fishermen and local residents. Some sightings have been described in detail by witnesses, all encountering a large, long, thin creature with a head resembling that of a horse or sheep. So the next time you're near Seneca Lake, keep your eyes open, and who knows, you might catch a glimpse of the legendary sea creature. Dragons are legendary creatures found in myths and folklores all over the world, and Vietnam is no exception. The Vietnamese dragon known as Long holds an important place in the country's mythology and culture. Unlike the fire-breathing dragons of Western mythology, Long is associated with water and is often depicted as serpentine rather than reptilian. However, a fisherman from Vietnam managed to capture a dragon on camera emerging from the water for a few seconds. Unfortunately, we couldn't find any more information about the video. But could this video be evidence that dragons exist among us? Many Vietnamese legends and myths tell of a creature that blesses people with prosperity, brings abundant rain, and protects the land from natural disasters. Unfortunately, we can only see the dragon for a few seconds before it returns to the water. Another interesting fact is that the Long Dragon is an integral part of many Vietnamese festivals, including the Tet Lunar Year Festival and the Mid-Autumn Moon Festival. The dragon is often present in parades, where performers carry and dance with a long winding dragon made of paper or silk to the rhythm of drums. It's also suggested that the world's largest cave, Hang Sang Dung, located in Phang Nga Ke Bang National Park, may be a dragon's lair. The Yangtze River in China harbors a variety of mysterious sea creatures that may not all be recognized by science. Recently, a video surfaced of a strange sea monster making its way through the river, sparking great discussion among viewers about what it could exactly be. People in the comments estimated the length of the sea creature to be about 33 feet, or 10 meters, and speculated that it could be an eel, an alligator, or a snake. Unfortunately, we couldn't find any more info about the video. Another river monster sometimes spotted in the Yangtze River is a Chinese giant salamander. This creature is the largest amphibian in the world and is sometimes referred to as a baby dragon. The Yangtze River is also home to the Yangtze sturgeon, one of the largest species of freshwater fish in the world. So it could be one of these aquatic animals, or it could be an unidentified sea creature. What do you think? Let me know in those comments. The next video from 2007 is one of the earliest documented sightings of the Loch Ness Monster. Gordon Holmes, the man who filmed the moment, hopes that the mystery will be solved soon, as it could intimidate the local population to have an unidentified sea creature in their waters. Some people in the comments suggest that it could possibly be the last remaining species of the plesiosaurus. To this day, the Loch Ness Monster remains one of the most famous legends, with the most credible sightings being reported over the years. The first sighting of Nessie dates back to 565 AD, when an Irish monk named St. Columba claimed to have seen the mysterious sea creature in Loch Ness, Scotland. According to the legend, St. Columba witnessed a man being attacked by a water beast in the river Ness and intervened, saving the man. At its deepest point, Loch Ness is over 755 feet, or 230 meters deep, making it deeper than the North Sea. The vast size and depth of the lake make it an ideal hiding place for a larger creature like Nessie. In the 1960s, a man named Richard Freer claimed to have seen a mysterious sea monster during a diving expedition. He reported seeing a hump-like creature with a long neck and flippers, and was convinced that it was a living plesiosaurus. It was named the Lomond dinosaur monster because the sea monster was found on Loch Lomond, the largest freshwater lake in Scotland. However, the first recorded sighting of the Lomond monster dates back to the 6th century, when a Scottish saint on pilgrimage witnessed a large beast in the water. If it were indeed a plesiosaurus, it would mean that the aquatic reptile somehow managed to survive for millions of years. Others describe the sea monster as a giant snake or a monstrous fish. According to Richard, the sea creature should have been about 20 feet or 6 meters long. Loch Lomond itself is a breathtakingly beautiful location surrounded by mountains and lush green forests, making it possibly the perfect spot for a legendary sea creature. This group of people were boating in the waters of Florida when they spotted something moving around in the water. One of them was quick enough to grab the camera and film the phenomenon. The video shows a sea creature swimming in the water, causing a whirlpool, leaving the group bewildered, wondering what it could be. Some people think it could be an anaconda of enormous length, while others believe it could be a group of manatees. The most likely scenario is that it's a large anaconda, as they are more commonly found in South America. Anacondas can hold their breath underwater for up to 10 minutes and are known to create strong currents with their powerful muscles, which could explain the whirlpool-like effect in the video. Central Africa. It's described as a large dinosaur-like animal with a long neck and tail, and has been the subject of numerous expeditions and eyewitness reports. In this video, we see a man sailing away from what could possibly be Macaulay Mbembe emerging from the water behind him. Macaulay Mbembe is believed to be a possible surviving species of dinosaurs, perhaps a sauropod. While the scientific community largely agrees that all dinosaurs became extinct millions of years ago, there have been a few isolated cases in recent years of apparent dinosaur sightings. Additionally, the terrain of the Congo River Basin is incredibly dense and difficult to navigate, which means it's possible for a surviving population of dinosaurs to exist without being discovered. Taichi Lake, located in northeastern China near the border with North Korea in the Changbei Mountains, is known for its stunning landscape. However, it's believed that something lurks beneath the surface, a creature known as the Taichi Lake Monster. The local people also refer to it as the Chonji Monster, and they believe it resembles a plesiosaurus. Others speculate that the Chonji Monster is an Elasmosaurus, a type of plesiosaurus that dwells in the lake. According to a Chinese journalist who visited the site in 2007, he claimed to have seen the sea monster 6 times. The creature is said to have a long neck, slender body with small fins, and a long tail. Sightings of the Taichi Lake Monster date back to at least the 1970s, when local fishermen reported seeing strange creatures swimming in the lake. Nahulito is a sea creature said to inhabit Nahulhapi Lake in Argentina. It's described as a large aquatic creature and is often compared to the Loch Ness Monster. There are varying accounts of Nahulito's size, with some claiming it to be somewhere between 33 and 131 feet, or 10 and 40 meters long, while others suggest it may be smaller. Several people claim to have seen the serpent-like creature with its long neck and humps swimming through the deep waters. The legend of Nahulito has deep roots in the indigenous Mapuche culture, where stories of water spirits and beings are interwoven in their mythology. While skeptics dismiss Nahulito as merely a legend or a case of misidentification, believers argue that there's more to the story. Some speculate that Nahulito could be a surviving species from prehistoric times. What do you think we're seeing swimming through the water here? In the TV show The Proof is Out There, Tony Harris travels to the coast of Florida to investigate the Bermuda Triangle. One of the discoveries they showcased was a strange sea monster that had washed ashore in the waters of Bermuda. It's a mysterious sea creature of epic proportions, but there's also the possibility that these are the remains of a whale. When a whale dies, it can sink to the bottom of the ocean or float onto the surface, depending on the specific circumstances. On the surface, its body can pose a potential hazard due to the gases from decomposition. Other researchers suggest that it could be a globster, an unidentified organic mass that washes ashore. These organic masses often lack bones and eyes, making them difficult to identify. Possible explanations are that globsters are remnants of giant squids or sharks. What do you think this sea monster washed ashore in the waters of the Bermuda could be? Let me know in those comments. The Morag sea monster is a creature said to inhabit Loch Morar, a deep freshwater lake in the Scottish Highlands. This sea creature has captured the imagination of the local population for centuries, adding an air of mystery to the captivating landscape. Some tourists specifically come to Scotland to catch a glimpse of these alleged sea monsters, while others stumble upon them by chance. The origin and nature of the Morag sea monster are subjects of discussions and speculation. Some believe that it could be a surviving species from prehistoric times, while others suggest that it could be a misidentified creature. The Morag sea monster is often compared to the Loch Ness monster. Whether you believe in tales or not, it is described as a serpent-like creature with humps along its back. After hearing this kind of info, you'll probably want to stay away from large bodies of water, as we don't know what lurks beneath them. Sightings of the sea monster have been sporadic over the years, with some suggesting that the monster only appears during certain periods or under certain circumstances. Amidst the silence surrounding the Morag sea monster for over 20 years, a man named Doug, who was staying near the lake with his wife, Charlotte, reported that they had witnessed the sea monster not once, but 3 times. The longest encounter was said to have lasted 10 minutes before the creature submerged again. Lake Champlain, located in the northeastern United States, is known for its clear blue waters and beautiful surroundings. But if local folklore is to be believed, it's also home to an elusive sea creature known as Champ. First sighted in the late 1800s, Champ is said to be an enormous serpent-like creature with an arched back and a long whip-like tail. In this video, an individual claims to have seen a neck protruding from the water and was quick enough to grab their camera to capture the sea monster. Some legends from Native Americans suggest that the area around Lake Champlain was once inhabited by a race of water spirits. However, people believe in the sea monster so strongly that there are several Champ-themed museums around the Lake Champlain area, showcasing various pieces of evidence related to the alleged existence of the creature, including eyewitness accounts and photographs. Furthermore, in 1982, a New York legislator proposed a bill that would grant Champ a protected status as a rare and endangered species, but the proposal was ultimately shot down. The first known written account of the Storchjo monster creature came in 1635, when a Swedish man named Johannes Broden wrote about it in his travel diary. Storchjo monster, also known as the Great Lake Monster, is a legendary creature said to inhabit the 5th largest lake in Sweden, Storchgen. The legend gained popularity in the 17th century, and sightings and stories of the creature have persisted to this day. Reports describe the sea creature as ranging in size from a few feet or meters to as long as 40 feet or 12 meters. As we can see in this video, it closely resembles a monstrous eel, but others claim it to be the legendary Storchjo monster creature. In 1894, a local carpenter claimed to have created a wooden model of a Storchjo monster based on his own encounter with the sea creature, which had occurred several years earlier. In 1986, a team of divers claimed to have seen a large, unidentified sea creature at the bottom of Lake Storchgen. One of the most popular videos of the Loch Ness monster is the next video that has garnered millions of views. It makes you wonder if Nessie truly exists, or if it's simply a misidentified marine animal. Since the 1930s, there have been over 1,000 reports of the Loch Ness monster. While many of these sightings are easily explained, some remain unexplained. In this video, we have mentioned Nessie multiple times, but how about some lesser-known facts and theories about this beloved sea monster? An intriguing theory about Nessie is that it could be a giant prehistoric sea turtle. According to an article published in the journal Biological Conservation, Nessie is a long-necked turtle that never went extinct. However, the most famous Nessie sighting occurred in 1934, when a photograph of it was published. But some people claim that this photograph is a hoax. Another interesting fact is that in the 1960s, a team of scientists used underwater cameras and sonar to scan the depths of the Loch Ness. While they didn't find convincing evidence of the creature's existence, they did detect some unexplained sonar readings suggesting that something enormous is living in the lake. You may have heard of Scotland's infamous Loch Ness monster, but did you know that Turkey is home to its own sea monster? Lake Van is the country's largest lake, located south of Mount Ararat in eastern Turkey, and it's attracted attention for centuries. Ancient civilizations settled there and called the water the Upper Sea. They believed it contained a great number of mysterious things, but years later, it still has mysteries. Sightings of the monster in Lake Van occurred several times between 1995 and 1997, but reports date back to 1889. Modern video footage shows an unknown and incredibly large creature moving in the water. Many people immediately said that it shares distinct characteristics with the Loch Ness Monster. Some argue that it might be a giant squid or that it's an ancient marine reptile like a plesiosaur. It's one thing to be in a boat with endless water stretching out in front of you, but in the next video, someone managed to capture a tremendously fast sea creature on camera. The sea creature was reportedly seen at the Pratima Pier in the Asian country of Timor-Leste. The video was taken with a mobile phone, but we can clearly see something moving through the water at great speed. Other people enjoying a beautiful day had also reported seeing something fast swimming past their boat. They reported seeing no fin, which eliminated the possibility that it was a dolphin or whale. What could be moving through the water at this speed? What do you think? It's mind-boggling how little we know about our oceans, and from time to time, sea creatures are captured on camera that we haven't seen before. A man was walking across a bridge at night with his family when he captured a large sea monster on camera. Although it's very dark, we can clearly see that something big is swimming in the river. This creature looks snake-like in appearance and seems to be swimming by quietly. To this day, it's unclear what kind of sea creature this could have been, but we recommend that you better not swim in this river at night. What do you think this sea monster is? Let me know in those comments. The next video is quite recent and is considered one of the best proofs of the existence of Nessie. Surprisingly, the person who shot this video had no intention on capturing a prehistoric monster on camera at all, but he was filming the canoes on the shore and surrounding area. His drone accidentally filmed a sea creature that resembles the Loch Ness Monster. The sea creature comes eerily close to the shore on the surface. You can see it moving around, and even some say it's curious about the canoes. We can clearly see that a giant sea creature is moving under the deep blue water, and it has a striking appearance. Those who say that this video is the best evidence of Nessie also point out that the sea creature seems to have the outline of a plesiosaur. The next video footage was taken of a sea monster lurking in Lake Champlain in North America. Champ, as the native people have called the sea monster, believe that a giant sea creature lives in the water. In the myths, it was described as a giant snake or a horned serpent. The number of people who have seen Champ with their own eyes is surprisingly large. There were also a few skeptical fishermen who believed the video footage was manipulated. One fisherman named Peter Baudet said that the creature was as big as his thigh. He also added that he was 100% sure of what he saw, but he wasn't 100% sure of exactly what he saw. However, some experts think Champ is a garfish, a type of sturgeon. In this video, we see a woman standing by the pier with her little dog, after which a large snake suddenly grabs her dog. Imagine losing your cute little dog this way. The two appear to be posing for a photo as the sea monster rises from the water. Some people in the comments doubt the authenticity of the video, but there are many old stories circulating about mythical sea snakes. However, whether they are alive today remains a question mark. Let's just hope that this video isn't real, and that it was animated by a computer. Canada is home to even bigger sea creatures than the legendary Loch Ness Monster, the Ogopogo. Ogopogo is a snake-like creature that roams Okanagan Lake in British Columbia, Canada. The sea monster is said by many stories and reports to have multiple humps, sometimes with green or black skin, and the head of a horse, snake, sheep, or crocodile. Ogopogo is not a modern urban legend. Indigenous groups warned European settlers about him when they arrived. According to legend, the sea monster resides in the middle of the lake in a cave. There's been much debate over the years about what exactly kind of sea creature it was. Some believe it to be a primitive whale, while others say it was simply a wave from a boat. Either way, in the 1900s, there was even said to be $1 million prize for proving its existence. However, to this day, no one has been able to explain what we saw moving here in the water. Once again, you're reminded of how strange the sea is and how many wonders it harbors. There's a universal rule when it comes to sea creatures and the deep ocean. The deeper you go, the bigger and stranger things get. Every once in a while, one of these sea creatures pop up and we get shocked at the way they look. In the next video, two guys come across a strange sea creature floating under the surface of the water. The first theory is that it's a jellyfish or a stingray, but the question that was immediately raised is whether these can get that big. Just recently, a fisherman from Cambodia caught a giant freshwater stingray, about 4 meters long. The sea monster in this video looks a lot bigger than that. It's not every day that you come across a giant sea snake with 3 heads, but that's exactly what a fisherman managed to capture on camera while relaxing on the beach. The man reportedly pulled his boat aside and suddenly saw a multi-headed snake-like monster in the distance. The sea monster is also called a hydra in Greek mythology. Ancient stories tell of a saying that when you chop off one head, 2 grow in its place. Although this is only a myth, some people believe that the hydra really existed, or even still exists. So, could this video be proof that multi-headed sea monsters still lurk in our oceans? What do you think? Let me know in those comments. The name Spaghetti Monster is probably not the most terrifying sounding thing to scare anyone. Images of flying sauce and meatballs probably come to mind, right? But if the following video is to be believed, a spaghetti monster also exists. The video footage was allegedly taken by an oil and gas company, where their boat was at a depth of about 1,220 meters in the ocean off the coast of Angola. They couldn't believe their eyes at the sight of the sea monster, later nicknamed the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Believe it or not, but the infamous spaghetti monster is said to be a relative of jellyfish and corals. It's thought to be a siphonophore, an organism that actually consists of a large colony of thousands of individuals. In 2016, it was reported that a group of Chinese fishermen had spotted a strange creature on the coast of Zhoushan, a city in eastern China. Both shocked and curious, these men had never seen anything like it in their many years of fishing. They managed to capture the creature on camera, and it was later shown on a Chinese TV show. The creature had a long snout like that of a crocodile, and a gray body that resembled that of a dolphin. Experts had no idea what it was at first, but they thought it might be a beaked whale. These are deep-sea mammals that are very rare, but not everyone agreed with this because it seems to have 2 large eyes on top of its head. So it remains a bit of a mystery what kind of sea monster this had actually been. The following video footage was taken in 2006 by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The camera was checking an oil tank at a depth of 1,725 feet, or 526 meters, when something passed by. At first, there's only some deep-sea fish swimming around, but at one point, something swam by that looked like a mythical creature called a mermaid. Although there was no way to verify what it was, many people believe that this is indeed a mermaid. Could this mythical creature exist after all? What do you think? If we play the video footage slowly, you can see some kind of fin that could possibly be from a mermaid. Or is it another sea monster that we haven't discovered before? Unfortunately, this video remains a mystery. Norway also has a legendary sea monster in Lake Seljord called Soma. This sea monster, or sea serpent, even became the symbol of the place in 1989. According to the stories, Selma is a giant sea serpent that emerges on the surface of the water during the hot summer days. Some of the stories say that she has a similar head to a crocodile, while other reports mention that she has a horse's head. On a July 2012 summer day, a 17-year-old girl found a creature moving in the water that some say could be Selma. Lisbeth Velfall, as the girl's name was, managed to grab her camera and capture the sea monster. The sea monster would move like a snake and seemed to have humps. Still, some people are skeptical and think that it's just a school of fish. But who knows, maybe there's still some sea monsters out there that we haven't discovered before. You might have seen this photo of the Hook Island monster before. In fact, it went viral in recent years, but the photo is said to have been taken in 1964. The Hook Island monster is said to be a giant sea monster that was spotted in Stonehaven Bay in Hook Island off the coast of Queensland, Australia. There's other photos of the monster taken by different people, but the one taken by Robert Lee Sarek is the most remarkable. He was sailing through the bay with his wife and his friend when his wife saw something black in the water. They took pictures of it, and she estimated the sea monster to be an incredible 80 feet or 24 meters long. According to them, it swam towards them and eventually swam away again. However, some people think it was just spilled oil that was in the water. What do you think? The dragon is probably one of the better-known mythical creatures on Earth. It's unknown if dragons actually exist, but did you know that there's also stories that mention that sea dragons existed? In ancient times, travelers were afraid of sea dragons, so they tried to avoid certain waters. These sea monsters could grow between 30 and 300 feet, or 10 and 90 meters long, and made entire boats disappear. If the following video footage is to be believed, a sea dragon is still swimming around deep in our oceans today. Unfortunately, there's very little info about the video, but some people claim that this is a real sea dragon. Other people think that this video footage is fake and that it belongs to a documentary. The next creature on this list is called the spaghetti monster and was caught on camera in the Baltic Sea in Kiel, Germany. Even scientists have no idea what kind of creature this is, or even if it's a living thing. It's also unknown if it moves by itself or just something that floats on the water, but it looks very creepy in my opinion. According to various sources, it was taken to the IFM GMR Institute for examination. But what happened to it after that, I couldn't find. So we'll probably never know what the spaghetti monster was. One thing's for sure, I don't think you want to run into this thing when you're swimming. The megalodon is said to be the largest fish that ever lived. They're said to be 3 times larger than the largest sharks living in the ocean today. Although the meg is generally claimed to be extinct, other people believe that there's still a chance that it might be swimming around somewhere in our oceans. The following video was shot in Australia and shows divers watching a great white shark when suddenly a giant creature appears, then quickly grabs a fish and swims away. Playing the video footage in slow motion, we can see that this is no ordinary shark. In fact, he has dark skin on his back, and you can see a number of bumps. He may be too small to be a real megalodon, but could it possibly be a baby megalodon? What do you think? Let me know in those comments. Harvey Robertson is a 52-year-old man who was taking a cruise in Parga, Greece, when he took a picture of the clear water in a sea cave. However, when he later looked back at the photo, he realized that he had captured a mysterious sea creature on camera. Many people say that this might have been the legendary sea monster of the island, which has been given the name Corfu. In Greek mythology, this sea monster is also called the Greek dolphin. It's often described as a dolphin-like animal that mutated. Some say it must be a descendant of the new extinct Ambulocetus, known as the walking whale because they had hind legs with flippers. The Ambulocetus was one of the pieces of evidence that could indicate that whales must have evolved from land mammals. However, no one knows what Harvey had actually captured on camera that day. Some skeptics say that it might be a manatee with a long snout, while others say it's a sea monster that we haven't discovered. When the following video footage first appeared on YouTube, there was a huge debate of what exactly it was. Some claim that a new sea monster had been discovered, while others say it was a whale placenta. For a long time, no one had an answer, until marine biologists suggested that it probably was a rare giant jellyfish without tentacles, called the Deepstaria. According to these researchers, this sea monster could use its enormous bell to wrap around its enemy and create a balloon of death. That seems pretty creepy, because I think you definitely don't want to get stuck in this thing. Have you ever encountered a giant sea creature? Let me know in those comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we've made, click one on the screen or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.